This is not just about Iran, to be honest. It's about, I'm sure most of our viewers or listeners noticed that Iran has seized the South Korean ship that was apparently carrying chemicals, potentially ethanol, was carrying it through the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran has seized the ship. Originally, when Iran did seize the ship, they announced that it was because it was polluting the Persian Gulf. It was polluting it with chemicals, and that was the official reason given about the seizure of the ship. South Koreans have complained about the seizure of the ship and have called for its immediate release. And most analysts outside of Iran and some inside of Iran actually argue that this has nothing to do with pollution, and it's more to do with Iran's blocked money, Iran's oil money that has been blocked in South Korea because of U.S. sanctions. South Korea claims that because of U.S. sanctions, they are basically incapable of financially transferring the money into Iran. And Iran is very upset about that. So analysts have argued that Iran is trying to use uh, any excuse like to seize ships and then use it as a bargaining chip against South Korea. And to be honest, this does seem somewhat likely because Iranian, I believe, one of government spokes uh, people, when speaking to the press, when press was saying that some people have described this as piracy and illegal seizure, blah blah blah. He said that no, we are not the pirates. South Korean government are the pirates, or they are the ones who are illegally seizing Iranian money. So he did, at least in rhetoric, connect the issue of South Korean ship to the Iranian funds that are blocked in South Korea. And to be honest, in a way, Iran, I mean, I'm not quite familiar with, I'm not at all familiar with international law in regarding environment and sea travel and all that, but I'm sure Iran is looking for any excuse now to put pressure on countries that it has a lot of money stuck in Japan, it has a lot of money stuck in China, it has a lot of money Iraq that it can't get. So I'm not sure. They're using whatever pressure tools they have right now to to get their hands on the money, basically. And this seems to be the case with the seizure of the Korean ship. And most recently, Korean diplomats came to Iran to negotiate the release of the ship. And it was quite interesting because Iranian foreign ministry spokespersons have argued that South Korean officials should avoid politicizing this issue and should, just wait for the issue to go through its normal judicial process within Iran. Because they say it's out of our hands now. It's with the judiciary. This case is being reviewed by the judiciary, which is independent from the executive in Iran.
Okay, very interesting. So, how long has the boat been seized right now in Iran? How long has it been there? And I'm guessing the South Korean crew is also stuck in Iran then?
There were 20 members, by the way, on the ship,
Mm-hmm.
but and they were from. By the way, the crew were not South Korean necessarily. They were from Indonesia, Myanmar, Vietnam. I can't find the exact date, but I think it's more than a week. It's more than
Okay,
a
I
week.
see.
Hmm.
So
Um,
interesting. So
yeah.
you think that Iran is really taking these steps, of course, just somehow try to get some of the money that's owed by these other countries. But I'm guessing these other countries, of course, are also limited by the US sanctions. I mean, that's the whole story, right?
Sure, to be yes, yeah, yeah, that's the whole story. But to be honest, it's more than that. I think Iran is trying to, because everybody is expecting negotiations when Biden administration comes into power. Some even probably assume that there are already secret negotiations going on. So Iran may be trying to, maximize its hand its cards in dealing with America. Just like some argue that U.S. Actions, like the one that we are going to talk about later on, like the Houthi thingy, like everybody's trying to maximize, get their position as strong as they can for future negotiation. So that's another possibility. Iran agree with his impeachment and all that. I doubt it's gonna right now. Yeah, I mean, I doubt anything crazy is gonna happen in the next 10 days. Although, as you make a prediction.
Okay. And then Iran has started to enrich its uranium again, right? Trying to hit the 20% mark, right?
Oh, sure. Let me get into this first. First, as a part of saying about the fact that Iran is trying to get as strong as it can before future negotiations, there has been a significant increase in Iranian politicians' demands from international community and from U.S. specifically. The new Speaker of the Parliament, a Speaker of the Parliament in Iran is basically it's kind of the head of the most numerous faction in the parliament as well. So this is the most important person there. He said that just legally coming back to the deal is not going to be enough for the Iran. Iran needs real action and needs to see real transactions happening before before uh, reversing certain action it has taken during the last few years. There was also a member of the parliament that said that after the inauguration, Joe Biden has 1 month to um, show show, I guess, goodwill or show some action regarding this issue. Otherwise, otherwise Iran will take further steps and may even officially leave the deal, basically. At the same time, the supreme leader made a televised speech in which he made it clear that the removal of sanctions is the key and, according to him, logical and rational demand of Iran from U.S. and world community. And he said we won't beg for US's return to the deal, and we won't be excited by it, but we want the removal of the sanctions. So Iran is hardening its position somewhat, which is quite natural considering that they literally their was to wait out Trump, and it seems that their strategy worked basically. So that's been happening, and as a part of that, then we get to the issue of the uranium. So Iran, I believe, few weeks ago, announced publicly that they are going to enrich uranium higher grade, if I'm not mistaken. So, and then they officially started enriching uranium at 20%, and now the IAEA, the atomic agency, they are reporting that Iran is doing it at a very they're producing uranium tw- uh, tw- enriched at 20% grade at a very fast rate, and so they're basically producing a lot of that. But what is crucial about that is that this is I don't understand physics at all, but from the articles I read, this is one technical step away from 90% enrichment, which with 90% enriched uranium, then you have the capability to make a bomb. You don't necessarily have to make it. Apparently, many countries have this capability, but don't necessarily have nuclear bombs. So that's what's very crucial about that. And if I suppose if Iran doesn't see real action from US or European, they may move towards enriching uranium at 90%.